In the 50s, Willie Thrower of the Chicago Bears was the first black quarterback to play in an NFL game. More than a decade later, Marlon Briscoe became the first black quarterback to land a starting job as a rookie with the AFL's Denver Broncos. Despite a successful season, he was traded to Buffalo and switched to wide receiver.
When he came to Buffalo, when I first met Marlon, he was so bitter, because of the things that he had been through and how unfair it was that he didn't get a chance to play, and also helped prepare me to what to expect and how to deal with it.
Briscoe helped Harris as he worked to earn the starting quarterback job on the Bills team that already included quarterbacks Jack Kemp and Tom Flores. However, having Briscoe as a teammate could not shield Harris from racial taunts.
Being 22 years old, going to Buffalo, New York, at that time I was playing good. I won the starting job, and you open up this mail and they have you on a rope flushing you down the commode, or they have your face in a watermelon.
Players throughout the league recognize the significance of Harris's pioneering efforts.
We were playing the Buffalo Bills, so we were pounding them that day. We were pounding them. We was had 40 points on the board. They sent him in the last quarter. Okay, here comes Shaq. I said, oh God. I thought I'd go duck that. I wish I had gone out of the game. Shaq ran a play where he rolled out to the right side, Then he rolled out over there was Deacon, And I come up behind him when he stopped the plan to do this. Well, all this was open. This is the hospital, if not the graveyard. You understand? So when I hit him and took him down nice and gentle,
There was a lot of hate mail. I started getting so much in LA that they would just hold my mail. They just hold it, and I just kind of read it at the end of the year. It's hard to get comfortable playing, and you feel that you have to play perfect.
My parents would let me stay up to midnight because the Rams would play on TV, and I would have an opportunity to watch how he broke the huddle, how he came up to the line of scrimmage. Everything about him was what I tried to emulate, because I figured if I was going to try to be there, then I need to, do what he was doing.
While Harris was leading the Rams to the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers had also opted to start a black quarterback, Joe Gilliam. Like Harris, he received hate mail and death threats.
America, it appeared, was still not ready for a black quarterback. Other than Joe Gilliam, there were no blacks in the NFL.
He was just a tremendous guy. And his second year, they had the strike. He came to me, but he also went to the union guy. He said, I have to cross this line. He said, it's the only way I can make this team.
When I came to Pittsburgh in our rookie camp, it was a year of a strike. Joe Gilliam was the quarterback. He was in camp. And by virtue of us being in camp when there were no veterans there, we were maybe the most prepared to play at the beginning of the regular season. And so having Joe as the quarterback actually was not strange to me. Because Jimmy Jones was my quarterback, an African-American quarterback at USC. So seeing Joe behind center, to me, wasn't an unusual thing. I felt very comfortable with that.
He was phenomenal. We beat everybody. We won 6 games. We just beat everybody, and he was really a big cause of it.
The quarterback controversy at Pittsburgh was really no controversy, because the starting quarterback on any good, sound football team should be the one that produces. And Joey showed through preseason and regular season that he won. He didn't lose any preseason games. And before he was benched, he lost 1 regular season game. Now just think if they would bench Tom Brady if he lost 1 game. The effects were devastating.
I never felt that Joe Gilliam lost the starting job. I think it was taken away from him. I think he was probably the best passer on the football team. So it was disappointing to a certain degree to see Joe not as a starting quarterback.
Legendary scout Bill Nunn had the black and gold touch.
People look at the Steelers' success in the 70s and the team of the decade and those 4 Super Bowl wins, and certainly Art Rooney, the owner, is critical, and Chuck Noll, but maybe the most critical piece of the puzzle was a guy by the name of Bill Nunn. Bill was very instrumental in making us the unit that we were.
If you think about the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers, Bill Nunn's hand is all over it. Bill Nunn was in the black colleges before anybody and found so many of the players that played for the Steelers back in the days when they won it.
Bill Nunn was and is an asset for the Steelers. He's the legend. He's the legend here. I said to him, look, you're not just a scout for the black colleges. I said, I want you to go everywhere and scout the Big Ten, scout every place there is, and that you be there and be our representative. And he was not sure how that was going to work, but he did. He went out and he did great.
You look at our football team, the Dwight Whites, the L.C. Greenwoods, the Mel Blunts, the Joe Greens who were there. All those guys that he recruited, that he scouted and analyzed, and it fit the structure of the Steelers because there were players that other people didn't know about. We drafted 4 people in the 1974 draft that are in the Hall of Fame. That's never been done by any other football team before or since.
With an impenetrable defensive line known as the Steel Curtain, the Steelers' tenacity endeared them to their fan base and instilled fear in the hearts of opposing teams. Bill Walsh of the 49ers also had a colorblind coaching style, allowing players and coaches of all colors to flourish within his system.
Bill Walsh came through Paul Brown, and Paul Brown influenced Bill not just in terms of his football philosophy, but he influenced Bill in terms of his worldview about people.
So the 49ers, I think, became one of the organizations that took that very seriously. And ultimately in the Bill Walsh years, you could see a very significant thing taking place, which was that a whole group of assistant coaches around Bill Walsh, which were African Americans as well as Caucasians, all of a sudden were legitimate candidates to move into coordinator positions and eventually head coaching positions.
In 1979, I got traded from the Steelers to the 49ers, and it was Bill Walsh's first year with the 49ers. And the first thing that struck me when I got to San Francisco, they had 2 African-American coaches on the staff, Denny Green and a guy by the name of Billy Matthews. And I was stunned because I'd gone years, my whole life, and really not had African-American coaches. And now there's 2 on this staff.
Walsh previously coached